Good afternoon, guys. It's new RIOU talk, and today our guest is international lecturer Robert Kaspar. He came for this week to our university, and he introduced us to sport tourism and how it works. Good afternoon, Professor. First question is about your experiences in sport tourism. I know that now you have position in special games. What could you tell about these games, and what could you tell us about your teachers' experiences?
Well, first of all, it's my 7th time now to Sochi. I really appreciate and admire the development of the university and also the international body of students here, having 14 nations present. You ask about sports tourism. I started myself as a student writing on ski tourism in New Zealand. Then I was working in sports events where long-term sports tourism development, such as after the Nordic Ski World Championships in Ramsau in Austria, was a key element. I also headed the program for tourism and leisure management in Austria. And I think sports, culture and business tourism are very important as a legacy of any kind of event.
Okay, what could you say during our lessons? We had Olympic bidding competition. How did you come up with this idea, and did you try to implement this in other universities? Like, which results you expected?
My approach to teaching is to make it interactive. After a first part of the course, where it's more lecture style, in the second part of my course always put in simulations, and I've tried it out now various times to let the students become a real candidate city, bidding for an event, getting emotional, getting into the dynamics so they understand the real life situation of a bidding committee.
But you, as I know, you also have been participating in the bidding competitions with Salzburg. So probably what is the most emotional part of this bidding was for you, and what you learned after this bidding competition?
Well, the most emotional moment is when the IOC president has the envelope, and within 5 seconds you lost your dream. You lost a lot of colleagues and friends who suddenly disappear, and it's hard to cope with this emotion. On the other hand, it has been the most interesting sports events management experience of my lifetime, and the Olympic dream of hosting the Olympic Winter Games in Austria is still very, very alive.
But as far as we know, that Salzburg was also one of the participants of bidding competition for the games for 2014, which finally have been given to Sochi. So, did you try to participate in this new bidding process, or it was no option for you?
Well, I was Secretary General of the Salzburg 2010 bid, and when the Salzburg 2014 bid was underway, I was already working at university, so I didn't get any active role there.
And now you're working for Special Olympics. What is the event? And probably, you know, the most of our spectators, they never heard this. So could you explain briefly what is that and why it's interesting?
Well, Special Olympics World Games, there's the Winter Games next year in Austria and in 2 years in Abu Dhabi, 2019. The world's largest sports and humanitarian event for people with intellectual disabilities. Not to confuse with the Paralympics, which are for people with physical disabilities. And it's an event that is extremely emotional. For the Winter Games, it attracts 3,000 athletes, so it's a very large event. And it also is for the athletes taking part a motivational point, an inspiring point for many of the athletes around the world who are using sports, who are into sports as part of their life.
Okay, and now a bit about your personal experiences. So you have born in Austria. So, for example, I know a bit German. I learned German, and I don't have this clear difference between Germans and Austrian. Could you explain what is the difference and uh, what is the reason could be for people to travel to Austria?
Well, first of all, I'm a very proud Austrian, and I think and I believe we are very different to the Germans while we speak the same language, which you might also have if you compare Canada and the US with the same language. If you compare Belgium and France with the same language, Austria and Germany have the same language, but are very different in both culture, historical backgrounds, and also we've got more of a southern mentality than our neighbors, while our neighbors are our most important tourism market.
But typical Austrian person, it's concise and so strict as a German. It's different.
It's southern, as I say, so it's not as precise, and our history is much rooted in closer relations with southern and southeastern countries. So we feel closer to also countries like Slovenia and Croatia, which has been part of our history.
Okay, as far as we're talking about events management and sports management, also in Germany, everybody knows about Oktoberfest. Which events you have in Austria? Probably Oktoberfest is also in Austria, or any different events which we can visit?
Well, there is all kind of sports and cultural events. From culture, of course, we have got the Viennese New Year's concert, which is broadcast around the globe, so you can watch it from any place in the world. We've got the Vienna Opera Ball, but we have also got, of course, a lot of festivals, indie music festivals, the Live Ball in Vienna, and a numerous a series of sports events on top of the Special Olympics World Winter Games. In 2017, we will host the Luge World Championships and the Biathlon World Championships.
Okay, thank you for this part. And now our short questions. It's about 10 questions, and just ask you to answer really short in some words. So, first question is the best sport or the best sport event you have ever seen?
The Ski World Championships in Ramsau in Austria, because it was a festival of sports and emotions in the mountains with a lot of snow during these 10 days of competition.
The work of your dream?
Well, I'd say actually now the combination of working for a social sports event, which is the Special Olympics, and I love to work with young students from around the world. So this combination is great, and I hope to continue working in this mixed field of academic and business life.
The best city in the world?
Vienna.
The best country?
Austria.
Your favorite club, sport club?
It's Sturm Graz in Austria.
Okay. What do you prefer, sporting event or cultural event to attend?
I actually prefer to attend sports events because I'm a very passionate skier.
A person from sport or from history who inspires you?
Maybe it's Petra Kronberger from Austria, because she is a very smart personality and Olympic gold medal winner.
If you can choose a time to leave, imagine all our history, which time you choose and whom you would be?
I would love to be James Cook, discovering new territories on a sailing boat, opening new horizons.
Okay, thank you. It was Robert Kaspar, our international lecturer. It was really interesting interview. Thank you again for your time. And thank you guys for watching this interview. I hope that in next RIOU Talk we will have more interesting guests and you will watch it again. See you soon.